On today's episode of Mountaintop Experiences, I spent a relaxing morning fishing with my father.
Hey, it's Joshua making noises.
There's Joshua. And that's my brother Joshua. Welcome to Mountaintop Experiences, episode 6. Today I'm here with my father, or as in Serbian we say tata. Hey tata, how you doing, Kakusi?
Good, thank the Lord, no complaints.
That is very good. Who is tata? Who is Zivko Petrovic?
I am the son of Tanasi and Danica Petrovic from Stara Pazova, Yugoslavia, now Serbia.
What makes you you?
What makes me me? It's a good question. I guess a number of things. My upbringing, places I've lived, churches I've been in, either visited or actually attended. What makes you is the people that you surround yourself with. As the saying goes, you show me who your friends are and I'll tell you who you are. So the fact that we associate it with people that have good morals and standards for the most part is a good thing, but it's not saying that we should separate ourselves from the world and then have nothing to do with them. That's not what I'm saying. I'm just saying in general.
Mm-hmm. If someone were to come up to Zivko and say, who are you? What would you tell them?
I'm a child of God, and I was put here on this earth for a purpose, and foremost, of course, to become a Christian, born again Christian. And then as I entered marriage at the age of 25, to bring my children to the Lord, because that's the only thing I could take to heaven with me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I would say that is first and foremost our responsibility, as the head of the household. And after that is to live by example as a Christian and bring other people to the Lord, as God commanded us, that the word should be spread everywhere. And of course, we can talk all we want, but if we don't live by example, then actions speak louder than words.
That's good. That's a good introduction. So you'd say you're a child of God and a father who raised his children in the way of the Lord. I would say I have to agree with that.
And
beautiful day, huh?
Yep. I was back at 16 years old in 1978 with my brother Boris and my two sisters, Maria and Kathy. I believe Maria was 15, Kathy was 14. Boris, I think, was almost 19, or was he already 19? I'm not sure yet. So it's a long journey. It's a big commitment, but definitely it's worth it.
Nice. Sweet. So Tata, what are some of your hobbies? What are things you enjoy doing?
I definitely enjoy spending time with my children, making smoked meats, sausages, prosciutto or shunka, smoked bacon, whatever at that time I can find meat on sale. And then definitely barbecuing and just spending time with the children and family. I also enjoy playing any kind of sports they like to play, whether it's soccer, basketball, or they just want to go golfing. Favorite is hiking up in the mountains, especially here in Colorado. As you can see, it's beautiful. You can't get enough of it, even if you live here. Sometimes we take it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, what do you call it? Church activities are always, you know, hobby extra other than just going to church every Sunday, Thursday when you can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Fishing, as you can see, I don't know if I mentioned that one. I love doing that. My kids, I like doing it, so that's a good way to go and what you call be lazy and don't cause criticism, because nobody criticizes you when you're fishing, because you know they don't know we're just loafing. But it's a good way of being lazy, I guess.
Why are you giving them our secrets, Tata?
You can spend a whole day not catch a fish, enjoy out here, just kick back, bring some sandwiches, and people say, man, I had a hard day fishing, didn't catch anything. We just relaxed. It's very calming for the nerves.
It's true.
And we do enjoy eating the fish too, so if it's trout or fish that we feel like we want to eat, it's, you know, a plus.
Yeah. Nice. Those are some awesome hobbies, and
Oh yeah,
that's where I get them from,
I
apparently.
love whatever my children are doing. I mean, if they have something they want to do and they ask me, I am always there with them. I think it's fun.
Mm-hmm. Nice. That's awesome. Okay, Tata. What is one thing that you'd want to leave with your kids, you'd want us to know, encouragement for not just your kids, but like my age, our generation, the next one? Would be your advice to them? As someone who's experienced, you're what, 62 now?
Yeah, pretty close. Um, I would first, of course, it would be a spiritual advice. Is no matter what's going on in the spiritual world, churches, our churches, other churches, uh, don't focus on others. Focus on yourself. Salvation is personal, and you're only accountable for yourself. I mean, we need to speak up if things are wrong, but we know when to let it go, because this is what the Bible teaches us. That you know, after a few times, somebody decides, you know, they've been warned, then you're not accountable for them, just for yourself and your family. And I would say just live the right thing, do the right thing, regardless. We are a very small minority in this world. Churches have always been in a small minority. It's not big, huge mega churches, and because they're big, that they're right. Actually, always there has been a remnant, always that held on to the truth and to the doctrine. We're talking about doctrine now. You know, they don't budge from the doctrine. Traditions are going to change, practices are going to change, but doctrine never budge. And then as long as you focus on that with your family, or if you're single, you will not be stressed out, and you will not have anxiety, because as long as you have peace with God, because it's in your heart, nobody can take that away. Nobody can take your salvation away. Things are going to come and go that we're happy and not happy with. Don't worry about it. As long as it's not of your own making, you know, God will reward you for that. So we need to be patient. The Bible talks about that. We have to have all the fruits of the Spirit. And I think that's what I will leave to all my kids. All this other stuff, you know, houses, money, cars, that's all okay. God gives us with that to use as a vehicle to get from point A to B. Those are not important. But ultimately, what's important, as you get older, you have to have that peace with God. And as you're getting closer to meeting Him, which could be for anybody tomorrow, it doesn't matter. But as you get older, you know, technically you're closer. You need to have that inner peace, and you know, and love everybody regardless who they are, you know, but don't participate on those things that, you know, are damaging to your own soul's walk with God.
That's really good. Preserve the faith, sound doctrine.
There's nothing more important. I mean, I mean, we know. I mean, you think about it. That's
Well,
eternity.
I know one thing that you always told me growing up that helped a lot with all sorts of things is having patience and realizing, especially in the church or just in life, if things aren't going your way, having patience for them, for God to work things out. Especially in the church, it can be easy for young people to get worked up because things may not be going exactly how they planned or wanted, but you've always given me advice to trust in the Lord as long as you're doing your part and contributing to the church, you know. God will work it out.
So on top of that, I would say the most important thing is, one is consistency. You have
Consistency.
to be consistent in your faith. You have to be well grounded. If not sure, my advice would be to everybody: if you're not sure about something, but you're convinced, it's okay, don't go that way until you're 100% sure and have peace with it in the heart. And please consult with older people, people that have gone through it. They'll all tell you the same thing.
Hmm.
Don't be quick to change until you're 100% sure, that it's pleasing to God and it actually causes peace in the church too.
Yeah.
Just because it's my way, it doesn't mean it's wrong. But if it causes unrest, then we need sometimes not always have it our way, as long as it's not something that will cause a church or someone to fall into sin.
Okay, that's really good. Thanks, Tata. I think that's good. Really good advice to the next generation. All right, Tata, we just about finished fishing, about to head home. Um, what is one mountaintop experience that you've had in your life you'd like to share?
Of course, if the spiritual one would be, as we talked earlier, the baptism, becoming a child of God,
Mm-hmm.
and what do you call it? And family, the marriage to a beautiful woman, God-fearing woman, and the children. Seeing your children baptized is probably by far, other than your own baptism, the greatest thing that you can experience in your life. Those are things that you can't explain or what do you call it, understand unless you experience yourself. One of the very, very what do you call it, important things I learned in life is it is very hard to understand God's relationship with you unless you become a father, and then you understand the father and the child relationship, and how God looks at us as we are his fathers, forgiving, understanding, letting our children grow with their mistakes, trying not to interfere in everything they do, let them learn some things on their own and make their own choices. I think God works with us the same way. Once you become a father, you learn that that's how God is. That's why our children have free will and we have free will. God directs us. The Holy Spirit is there always to remind us, is always there to rebuke us, to guide us, to help us, and comfort us. But I think parents are, in a way, the same way with their children, physical children. To try to know when to back off and when to say something, when not to.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's one of those amount of time experience. As you go through life, you're learning more and more as you get older. But it's an experience that you can't give someone. It has to be experienced, and you have to be in the Lord and to understand it in order to be able to experience that and understand what you are experiencing, if that makes sense. So, yeah, with that, of course, the other, I would say, Also is a relationship with the brothers sisters in church, regardless, because we're all different nationalities, come from different backgrounds, churches, countries. Even though sometimes 100% we're not always on the same page because we are all unique and different. But the bottom line is when there's something that's happening, something that's an emergency, whether it's financial, whether it's sickness or prayer, uh, everybody puts all the difference aside and they're always there for you. That's something that you have to experience to understand, the fellowship that we have in our church. That's an experience that, like I said, as you get older, as you experience it, more and more you become in tune with this. The more you're in tune with it, the more you see that, God is working not just your life, but everybody else's life.
So good. Thank the Lord, you tata. Really appreciate it.
Mhm. Now it is starting to rain. Should we start heading back?
Yeah, it's definitely
Okay.
definitely getting cold.